You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Revolution After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Revolution After Show.
Hello, hello.
Oh, hey.
Welcome back. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. 1 week
Okay.
break.
I'm sorry, I'm a little congested, but
Oh yeah, you sound like you got some SARS or something.
There's no SARS in this room.
I had an orange
Only Revolution.
that I was given by the Patriots, and
Right, you got that
things happen.
typhus, huh?
Yeah. Anyways, welcome back, guys. It is episode 18 of Revolution, Austin City Limits. I am your host this evening, Francesca. And next to me are my lovely co-hosts that I've missed for a week since we had a
it's
little
good to
week
see you
hiatus.
too.
Oh, I miss you guys.
Names, blue partner.
Mine, oh.
Well, you're blue too.
Right.
Ladies
We're all
first.
blues. Ladies
Okay,
first.
yes. What's up? I'm Megan Thomas at Meg
Hey.
Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Hey, Megan Thomas. I'm Brian Hooks, sitting next to you in this blue shirt.
Yay.
It's all about blue today.
Hooray.
We always seem to match. It's really
We
weird.
have ESP and we don't even know it.
We have ESPN.
We've got nanites in our
Oh,
brain
shoot.
telling us what to wear
Right.
on the Revolution After
I
Show.
was just about to say that.
Dude.
What did you guys think about this episode? I thought it was a pretty awesome episode. Pretty action-packed, a lot of like on your toes, but ultimately very sad for myself. What did you guys think?
It was a little creepy for me. I'm like, okay, so this is what happens when you take the, what is it, the blue pill or the red pill?
Yeah, the red pill. Take the blue pill.
Yeah,
to go home. The
right.
red
Blue pill.
When you take the pill to accept the non-reality. So it was just a little creepy for me because, oh, come on, Priscilla. Actually, I can't even be mad at her because I would have probably chosen the same thing.
When I take a little blue pill, something else happens, which isn't nearly that exciting.
Well,
Whoa. No, so I'm torn about this week. And I felt like they really needed to come out strong with the episode because of last week. They didn't have an episode on. And
Right.
usually when a Revolution shows, like when there's a break, they rerun an episode. They didn't even rerun an episode last week either. So that seems to me like a little bit of distancing from NBC's aspect. So they really needed, I think, to come back with this episode really hard. And they did. I thought the
Yeah, it was a
beginning really
great
captured
episode.
your attention. A lot of action throughout the episode. Not a lot of story development, though.
No.
Other than the Priscilla Aaron aspect, there wasn't a lot of story development with other people.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Neville.
Nelson.
I do another show, and there's a Nelson. Neville disappeared like right off the bat after the very
Right.
first scene. He had a great opening scene, very strong, and then just sort of went away. And why didn't he show up?
Right. Well, I think this was definitely
Next week.
Jason's episode.
Right.
But I mean, they, like you said, they didn't show like an episode the week that we missed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just to build suspense to who was gonna die.
Right.
And who did you guys think? We were trying to have a bet, and I could have won, but I didn't.
I know, because you're a pansy.
He's a
I
good
didn't
mom.
want to
didn't
accept
win.
the fact.
You didn't want to choose someone. If you had chosen your favorite guy, you would have won. I chose Dr. Porter because he's old.
Well, I went between Connor and Jason, so I was half right.
You're kind of a
right.
pansy.
I was kind of crazy.
Just kind of.
You're kind of a pants. We didn't even see Dr. Porter in this episode.
Nope.
So, yeah, it was pretty much all about Jason and Priscilla
And Austin.
in Austin, Texas, which I hear is really cool. So let's start it off. So in the very beginning, like you said, we see Tom, and he's trying to talk Jason into helping him fight to
Right.
keep fighting and find their mom, essentially. And then
Okay, I want to say this. I told you guys, I think she's dead.
Yeah.
I think Julia's dead. I think she's been dead. And I think that they're just holding that over Monroe's head. I mean, not Monroe. Tom Neville's head. And so because he loves her so much, he's willing to believe that she's still alive. But I do believe what Jason says, and that's she's dead.
Yeah, I'm glad that Jason finally stood up and said something to him. And he's like, we don't know if she's alive or dead. And this is something we can't control. But what we can control is you can help me, and I need you to help me. And you're basically being crazy, and you're lying to yourself, and you're lying to me.
Right.
So I like that he finally said something to him, because we haven't really seen that side of Jason throughout.
No. I think that should have been our clue that he was going to die. Because Jason never there's never been any storyline that's just been about Jason. So we should have probably picked that up.
Well, they did a good job, I think, with that, because one of the things that when we were watching the episode, I said they kept commenting. He's like, "Oh, well, if I do something wrong, you can shoot me. Oh, if I do this." The one that you keep talking about getting killed usually doesn't get killed.
Right.
When that's who you think it's going to be, they want you to think it's going to be somebody else so they can switch it.
Right. And then, I had predicted 2 weeks ago that I thought it was going to be Charlie that might possibly die, but I was like, no, you can't kill off Charlie. But at the very end there, when, they were fighting, it was a little bit of like, wait a minute. So, yeah, they kind of threw us off a lot.
Right.
This episode.
Well done.
Well done.
NBC writers, well done.
I thought it was interesting, though, because, like you said, he's saying, Jason's asking his dad, like, help me. He's so focused on his, on
Julia,
his wife, on Julia, who might not even be alive.
Right.
We don't 100% know for sure. But he's like, I'm alive, and you already know what I've gone through, and you're just, like, pushing me to the side. And so he just walks away.
Right.
Well, which you've always known about Neville. Neville's always been about Julia, and that's it. Everything has always been about pleasing her or finding her or anything like that. And when she came back in the picture, it's been the same thing. So,
And Julia, I feel like it's always been kind of about herself or Tom.
no, she's been about herself.
Yeah, poor Jason.
I don't think she's been about herself. I mean, I think if you like last season, Julia was all about the family. Because you remember that she was very down for her man.
Returned at least then.
But even still, you have to understand she didn't know that her husband and her son were alive. So I can't even blame her for being all about herself. It's about survival. When you don't know your kid and your husband are alive, what else are you going to do? So, but I think once she found out that they're alive, then she's like, okay, this is a delicate situation. And I think she played it correctly. I think she does, I don't think she's selfish. I don't. But I think she's dead.
What?
Sorry.
We'll see if she shows up. We've got 4 more episodes left.
I think she's dead.
You think they would just kill her off like that and not really make it?
Yes.
I think there'll have to be some kind of reveal. If she's dead, they're gonna find her, or something's gonna happen where they have to show that she's dead or she's not dead.
Right.
On TV, if they don't show a body, then you're not dead.
No.
Correct. I agree.
Maybe Jason's really not dead.
Who knows?
Maybe
He
the
might not be.
nanites could bring him back.
Right.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Right.
I'm so sad.
Did you just get excited all of a sudden, like really, really hard over there?
Anyways, so Jason leaves Tom, and he, what I thought was funny, he found Miles and Sebastian like right away.
I don't know if it's right away. I mean, of course, there's only 40 some minutes in an actual show.
Travel,
right.
as usual.
But here's the thing. So if Jason found them, then that means Tom was close by because he was following Jason. So where did Tom go? Because I don't think he would just, he sees his son walking away. You see him walking, and then, you're not just going to let him go off. If you see him walking towards the camp that Monroe and Miles are at, of course you're going to, stay close by. So I think he's actually probably lurking. He's probably in Austin. He probably followed them.
Well, they showed in the preview he's going to show up next week.
And I think it's because he followed them.
More than likely.
I think so.
I think so, too.
Right.
I thought that was weird. So he has Connor by gunpoint so he can get past the gates. And then, he's like, I want to help you guys. And, I mean, I believe that he wanted to help them. Did you guys think otherwise? Because, Mile and especially for Charlie, that was just like...
Right. No, trust that guy.
Right. And I believe that, I know they were standoffish towards him because of all the stuff he did in the past, but I believed he really wanted to help them because of the interaction he had with his father. He would never... Oh, yeah. At this point, that's the only person who knows the truth for real about him and his life and everything. So I didn't think he was lying to his father. So if you're just going to turn your back on your dad, then I think you're being honest.
Yeah, I thought he was honest as soon as he came up because he put his gun down. He let Connor go. And then he also gave him the piece of information about where they were going to be staying while they were in Austin. So it was like, here's a peace offering, here's some information. Because they knew Austin was the target based on the translations, right? So he gave him an address, like where they needed to go.
19 Arnell Street.
So, is it Ardell or no?
I thought it was Arnell. I wonder if it's a real place.
We can Google map it later.
Google map it later.
Right. Yes, but I agree. Like I said, that because of him giving information and basically coming in, I just needed him to get in. And now that I'm in, I'm not here to hurt. I'm putting my gun away. I'm showing a good faith act, if you will. And here's what I know.
Right. And then he's just like, yeah, we were saying if he does anything wrong, shoot him. You can handcuff me and, So I was happy that they accepted him back.
Of course,
Back on the manhunt.
because you just wanted to see him more.
I just love this Jason.
Right.
Off on the boys' weekend.
So they're in Austin, and Connor and Charlie go into the store. Did you guys get the creepy vibes from the lady right off the bat?
Yes, because she looks creepy.
I felt like her eyes wanted to go different directions. Anyone else feel that way?
Shirley Jenkins.
Shirley Jenkins. We don't know that yet, but I thought that, well, at first I was very skeptical of her just because I'm like, well, if she's at that building, maybe she's in on it. But when it felt like they duped her so easily.
Yeah, I felt like she
Right.
gave up the information too fast.
Yeah, so I was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
maybe she's
People
really...
upstairs, make sure they pay the rent.
Well, I had no clue that she was a part of them. I'll be honest. I was just like, oh, they're going to kill this lady. They're going to blow up her spot and steal the guns at her place. That's what I thought.
I didn't know that she was a part of it, but I just felt like she was too easily, manipulated, or it just didn't feel right.
Well,
yeah, something didn't feel right.
Right. That's how I felt too. But like I said off the bat. So when she gave the information, I was like, oh, maybe she's just dumb. And then that threw me off for later. I was back to you guys like I didn't think anything of it.
Right.
But she's got homemade beef jerky, so
Yeah, that kind of looked gross.
So
It looked like dog
Texas.
treats.
that's
Texas.
That's what beef jerky looks like.
Right.
It's a dried meat.
I guess it's weird seeing it outside of its wrapper. Leave me alone.
It was wrapped in like a cloth.
It was, yeah, whatever. So they end up going upstairs, and I like, well, Jason just is perfect because he's been through the camps. He knows how they work, and he really helped them out because he knew the tripwire was there.
Right.
He knew the grenades or were underneath the floor and exactly where they would be. I thought when they got in though that there were gonna be the cadets in the.
That they were going to start
Right.
shooting right away.
What did you guys think?
Well, I think I feel like, I don't know. I feel like once they opened the door and we saw the tripwire, then I knew for sure they were not in there.
Right.
Because it had been set.
Yeah.
Because you don't set it unless you're leaving.
Yeah, you don't do that.
How do you get
then
back
could
in
set
then?
it.
You unset it.
No, you can set it while you're in there.
Right, you would, but you wouldn't.
Unless you like took a nap or something.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't think you would. I think it's not set.
Well, but
Regardless,
I just thought
they
weren't
weren't
in there.
there.
Yeah,
But
I
no,
didn't think they were
seriously,
in there.
how would you get it undone getting back in?
Did you see Connor when they were
He
inside?
opened the door just a little and reached in and unhooked it.
Yeah, did
Oh,
something
I thought
to
they
it.
cut it with
Or
a
they
knife,
cut it,
no?
but you can just unhook it.
Something, but either way, when they were in there, you saw Connor push something back in. So there's a
Yeah,
way to.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Basically, there's a wire, and you just unhook the wire so that it doesn't pull when you push on it.
Right.
So complicated.
I know. Explosions are. I would have liked a good explosion this weekend.
Right.
That'd have been
I
nice.
would've, yeah.
Man, that's what we needed.
But then they wouldn't have found the torn up piece of paper with Arabic on it.
Which, let's just be real. That is so not like, oh, it just happens to say the word Blanche. And then, of course, Sebastian Monroe's like, oh, Blanchard. We know Blanche. Like, that
Oh,
just
yeah,
was
we
so,
know that guy.
like, really, that's the one piece of Arabic that didn't get burnt up. I don't believe that.
Yeah. So they're teaching them Arabic in the cadet camp
Right.
thingies. And then he found the lighter with the eagle. Mm-hmm. Total American,
That was
symbol.
America.
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 And so I knew that was going to be significant.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think he recognized it too. That's why they lingered on it because
Yeah,
he
exactly.
knew the guy that owned the lighter from before.
Right.
And basically, hey, I know this guy, so he's gonna show up.
What did you guys think? Because I was like, okay, this is clearly going to be somebody, but I couldn't figure out who this would be.
You know what? I wondered why they kept the door open as once Miles and Monroe left.
Mm-hmm.
Why they still kept the door open when it was just Charlie, Connor, and Jason. I feel like they should have closed the door because.
Yeah, something's up when your door's wide open.
Right. And so clearly you can see that from down the hall, like the door's
Right.
cracked.
And there's no explosion.
Right. So you know something's going on. I think they should have closed the door. That was weird.
That was weird.
But he shows up, and that's what we need.
He shows up, and Jason still can protect and block him because he has the handcuffs.
Right. I would be scared of him at this point. Like, hold on, wait a minute. He did all of that. If I
While in
was
handcuffs?
Right. I'd have been like, you know what? Yeah, we need to just let you out of these handcuffs because you can clearly hurt somebody, and you could have hurt us already.
With or without handcuffs.
Right.
So,
Right.
and they did. They let him out, so he can do a little interrogation.
Right, and Charlie trusts him. What do you think made Charlie realize that she could trust him?
I think she always has. I think she always loved him. There's a love there. But of course, there's hurt because of the things that he's had to do
Right.
for his family. So I think she's always felt the trust, but there was probably a long period of time where she didn't have it because he had to join with his father. But I don't know. And I think the love is what makes her trust him again.
And I think it was more in the room when the cadet trainer was basically grilling him and saying all this stuff about him and how weak he was and how easy he was to train and getting on his case. Dumb, obedient, and low self-esteem. Like that almost like, I feel like it took a soft spot in her. And she's like, oh, yeah, I like him. That's, oh. And then she felt sorry for him almost. And then those love feelings that were always there showed up again.
Connor's looking there like so salty.
Snarling.
I mean, I would have gone off on anybody if they called me all those things, especially when your dad's Tom Neville and he totally manipulates you. And that's easy to do with people that kind of are dumb,
stupid,
obedient,
dirt,
low self-esteem. So yeah, Charlie had a soft spot. And I agree. I felt like that she's always loved him.
Right.
But I don't know, this whole like after the Connor thing and then it was just, I feel like she's just bitter. She always just looks at both of them with,
I was really hoping for
crazy
more
eyes.
conflict between the Connor and Jason. Like I wanted to see some like fighting over Charlie, like love triangle. I guess this isn't the CW, so.
I know, but I feel like he could have. I think Connor should have had more jabs. He should have said more because he made like one comment about Jason. But I feel like there should have been something. I wish they would have talked more.
I feel like he wish he would have dropped the fact that they slept together. Like I wish he would have said something.
Right.
Like in your face. Yeah, what up? By the way, oh yeah, we hooked up.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much just. I think when he saw them having that moment. What did he say? Oh, what's our plan? He had to break the ice. But yeah, I feel like it would have been nice to have a little more spice in there with him getting a little defensive about it.
Right.
So speaking of hooking up, let's talk about hookups. Blanchard.
Oh. That was so awkward.
How disgusting.
I love when we were sitting watching the episode. And you hear this whipping and man groaning, and I made some comment about like a sex slave,
jokingly,
and then you made a comment about it as well. And then we walk in, and there's Blanchard tied up, getting whipped.
I feel like the candles like going down the hall, like set it up. I was like, these candles are a little too sexy to just be like regular home candles. Like this is my regular house. I'm just chilling.
They're the scented candles for Friday night.
Oh my God, I just was not expecting to see a very larger naked man getting whipped and enjoying it. And I love that his safe word was walnut.
Right. At first I was like, why is he saying it? And the second time I was like, oh.
I love that Monroe was whipping him.
That was funny. That was good.
Wait, didn't he, or who was it that sentenced him to, wasn't it him?
No. It was General Carver.
It was Carver. Okay.
Right.
That was pretty
But
good.
Blanchard used to be what General Carver is now. Like he used to be
he's
the
basically,
president.
he said he's retired, but he still has connections and he knows people, so they're going to try to
And he knows girls.
Right.
Apparently 2 that are trustworthy and 1 that is not.
Did you guys notice, and I said this when we were watching it, but you guys out there, did you guys notice that the blonde gave like a dirty look when she was closing the door?
Right.
And I thought that was really weird, but I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, that's awkward. She made an awkward face and it just got caught on camera.
I just felt like something was off with the girls. I didn't know for sure, but something was off. I didn't know if it was like, at first I was thinking, aren't there cuter girls in Austin? But then maybe, then I was like, maybe that's, I was like, but something's not right. Maybe it's just they're not that cute. And there's, no offense, but I was like, maybe there's like cuter girls.
It's kind of cute. I mean, I wasn't looking at her face, but.
Right.
Oh,
as
just like Miles said,
Just like
exactly.
Miles said.
And he missed
looking at her face.
Did you guys recognize her from Willoughby?
No.
No, I didn't either.
And I think that was the thing. It was like, didn't you recognize her? Of course he didn't recognize her, regardless of if they knew her or not.
Yeah, definitely weren't looking at her face.
No, what were they looking at?
I won't know.
Oh, I was enjoying her blonde hair.
You're so funny. I knew you were. You're such a good guy.
I'm such a good guy.
Because you're blonde too.
Absolutely.
So then, Blanchard gets killed.
What? 2 murders this week.
Right. And the way that chick killed herself, though.
They stabbed them both in the gut.
No, but she stabbed, the way she stabbed and pulled. Oh, that's exactly what I did when I saw that. Ugh.
It was like.
Stab, pull up.
It was so dramatic.
Right.
It's something like Romeo and Juliet-esque.
But you know what's crazy to me? How on earth did Miles and Monroe escape so quickly.
Did they throw off a grenade? That happened so fast that I didn't realize what happened.
The gun. They shot the oil lamp, and the oil lamp exploded.
Oh.
Because he had an oil lamp on the table.
Since there's no electricity.
Right.
Oil lamps.
I love how they did like the whole Houdini.
That was very Houdini with the smoke, and then they're gone.
Right.
I think I looked down to get popcorn or something, so I totally missed it, and it was crazy.
They were out, but they get back really fast too. Of
course they do.
They show up back at the room, and everyone's in there just hanging out, and they have the cadet trainer guy all cut up and bloodied, and they found out what their target is though.
Carver.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a presidential name.
Carver, because it is.
I know.
He's a Republic leader of Texas.
Texas.
Carver.
Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
If you think everything's bigger in Texas, you should make sure you subscribe to our podcast and give us 5 stars. Tell a friend, tell your friend's friend, and make sure you comment. Let us know what you think about this episode, what you think about Revolution thus far, because we'd love to hear from you. And we also have an actual comment from one of our fans on YouTube. This is from Robana. How do you say that?
Say it like you mean.
I'm gonna go with a Robana.
Robana. Checking IMDb, the guy Indian's name is Scanlon. So if you remember last episode, we were trying to figure out who one of Duncan's guys was his name.
He was basically the leader, and he was in this episode too. He's the one that brought the information at the beginning that was translated from Arabic.
And we were trying to figure out what his name was because he never says his
Indian.
name. We call him an Indian because he said he's a follower, not the leader.
Oh yeah, wait, what's his name?
So his name is Scanlon, according to IMDb. Thanks, Rabana.
Hey, you know what else they can do? So AfterBuzz TV has this awesome new app that just came out, and you can download it on iTunes, in your iPhone, or in the Android Play Store.
Yep.
It has every single one of our shows, and you can actually watch or listen to live every single episode right from the app.
I like it.
It's
Super
really
easy, all in
super
one
easy to
place.
use. You can favorite your favorite shows, including Revolution. And you can also message directly to us.
Especially Revolution.
Especially Revolution.
Just saying.
That's all.
That is all.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. So now, what were they? They were having a rally. What were they having?
Induction of the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, they were announcing all the Rangers.
Dylan Rangers.
Our good friend Dylan shows up again.
Right, and it took me a second because I wondered how on earth, because Dylan just got there 4 days ago, how on earth is he already on the Rangers list? But of course, we understand Patriots are everywhere. They're infiltrated into all levels of government everywhere in every republic. So obviously somebody put his name on the list, got him, put on there.
Thanks to Miles not shooting him a couple episodes back.
I know.
If he would have just killed that kid, we wouldn't have this problem.
Well, no, they would have sent somebody else.
That's true.
Somebody else would have
Somebody
been
else we could have killed.
True.
Then we could have had more.
And then actually he might not have noticed. He might not have noticed.
True.
So maybe it is a good thing that he let Dylan
That it
go.
was Dylan.
Because he knew it was him.
So, you know what's funny though? Because they were all standing there at the rally thingy, the induction, and they said, everyone, let's split up. And the first thought I had was, no, you cannot leave Jason by himself. Because what if someone reads his number? Did anyone else think that? Because
No,
that's what I
didn't.
thought.
You're
And I
good.
wrote that down somewhere. I was just like, why would they?
Lies.
I swear I
Somewhere,
did.
lies.
You yoga monkey.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
California yoga monkey over here.
Or I thought it. What you were making it. That's funny because in California we all just do yoga, right?
I mean, I don't.
I want to.
course.
I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I want to do handstands and
I can do
stuff
handstands, but no, I don't want to.
without falling. But anyways, I just thought that was not the smartest idea, just because, not because you couldn't trust him, because clearly you could trust him now. But if someone got a hold of his eye,
Right.
I mean,
Done for. And I like too that the head guard basically recognized Monroe, and he went after him. Monroe disappeared, then headbutts him, and nobody says anything.
Right. I mean, you see somebody get headbutted right in front of you, and then you
he
see
said he's drunk. He said, "Yeah, too much to drink." But
Okay, but still, I would have just been like, I would have at least looked as he laid him down. His
no
hat
one
was
even
like-
moved.
They didn't even look at it. They were
They were
still
just
looking
like,
at General
Oh,
Carver.
you're blocking my view of Mr.
Right.
Carver. Excuse me. Yeah, no one even moved. Then we see Crazy Lady. I swear, weren't her eyes kind of going?
they were a little bit,
They were a little.
Jenkins into the.
And we see her, and she knew Jason, and so
Right.
then I was like, no.
I think that's why she gave the. Well, never mind. She wasn't in there earlier. I was thinking that she gave the information because she knew it was them, but Jason wasn't in there the first time around.
Right.
It was
No,
Connor.
I know.
Remember?
I had a minute too where I had to think. Wait, was it Connor in it or he?
Right.
Yeah.
But
No,
do you think she maybe saw them when they went in?
That's what it was probably. Once they knew it was okay. I don't know. Maybe because I think they also went around. They left her store to go, I guess, in another door to go upstairs. So I don't think they brought the whole
No, I
crew
don't
back
think-
inside
I
the
think
store.
Through the back door.
Right. So I don't know when she saw him.
I think she has, because he said they were bringing the cadets to Austin. I'm pretty sure somewhere along the way she was part of that cadet camp that he was trained in originally.
right.
Probably.
Yeah.
And you never know. She could have like been scoping out the place after, obviously she was suspicious of them when they came looking for the cadets. So she probably was like, let me keep an eye out on them, and probably was just looking like, okay, I see what's going on. Let me lay low.
And she knew his name.
Busted.
And she, of course,
Read his number.
she reads it.
Right to
She
business.
can read.
And at that moment, that's when I was like, Jason probably needs to die because it unfortunately there's no hope for him. There's no cure for
sad.
the number unless. And I was thinking the whole time like maybe somebody can tattoo over the number.
I thought maybe the Charlie, when she had him, was gonna like try to read the number and be like, "This is your commanding officer," and try to get him to stop.
But they don't know what to do once the number's read. If you remember that,
Right.
nobody
Yeah, they
from
freeze.
the good side they don't know what happens. They just know, they don't know how to, I guess, work it. They know that if you read the number, the person turns into a killer. But they've only had, I guess, experience with the one girl who killed her father and then killed herself. So they don't really know, like, how it works. They don't know that you say, I am your commanding officer,
Right.
and then say blah, blah, blah.
Do you think that it's gonna be brought up, or they're gonna figure it out?
Maybe.
Like that someone is gonna show them, or they're gonna find something so that they can use the soldiers against the Patriots?
They might. That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool. Be
Well-
like a zombie army.
Right. I don't know.
They saved the day though, and that's what matters.
I feel like you have
Who
to
does?
kill these people. Once they get the number, there's no turning back.
Yeah, they like really. Their brains
Because there's always a chance of them hurting you. so.
flipping out. Yeah. So we sadly see Jason take the bag and walk to the building because she knows that she's trying to help Miles and them stop the assassination. So she's like, well, you could take care of it if they don't do it. So he goes up there, and of course Charlie follows.
I think Charlie should have been a little more skeptical when she saw him with the bag.
When he went off by himself too.
Well, even if he went off by himself, he could have literally been like, his excuse was, I saw a kid standing there for 5 minutes. This is a better vantage point. It was very good, very smart, makes sense. Gave her the binoculars, everything. But I think when she saw him walking, especially with that case, I would have been like, we traveled here with you, Jason.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Where did that come from?
Yeah,
What are you doing with this case?
Same. I thought she would figure it out a little bit more sooner, but he did try to play it off pretty
Right.
cool. And if you notice, like the girl at the S&M, you would have never known at first. They really get into their roles.
Right.
I think though, when he was speaking, there was a difference in his tone. Like there was a directness about the way he was talking
True.
when he was telling her about the vantage point, and he felt different. Like even the way he was acting to me seemed different than himself, and I would have,
Yeah, that's what I was
being in
saying.
that
Why didn't
situation, felt sketchy.
Yeah, why didn't she? I didn't understand why she didn't pick up on it. And he did give her a chance to leave. And
Right.
I don't know if that's any romantical stuff or it's just that's not even a word. But right?
I think
or
with her
just
there,
cuz it just happened that way, but part of me was like, "Oh my god, maybe Charlie's going to die. Charlie, why didn't you
Right.
go?"
But I will say this, Charlie can kick some behind. Like, for her to be choked out like that,
Blood coming out her mouth.
right? Like, that's a tough chick, yo. Because he's hurting grown men.
Solid muscle mass.
she works
Right.
out.
Yes.
That's all
I was
got.
talking about him, but
I was talking about Charlie. Guns out.
Right.
So she manages to get the knife and just stab him, and so he lets her go. And she grabs the gun, and then it's face off.
Right.
I know you're sad. It's okay.
And she was really trying her hardest just to be like, Jason,
not.
stop. This isn't you. This isn't you.
If I had been watching this like at home by myself, I think I would have cried.
Are you serious?
Well, thank you for being strong for us.
Just because like it was so emotion, like Charlie felt so bad, but she knew there was no other option. She had to do that. And then she's holding him.
I know, that part was so sad. I really feel it, you know, when she cries, because she cried when Danny died?
Yeah.
No, when her dad died.
Yeah.
The very beginning episode. And then, of course, it's just, Tracy Spiridakos, you're a very amazing actress. I love you. Love you.
Well, I have no soul or heart, so I was not as moved as you. But it was a good scene.
It was.
It's horrible.
I wouldn't have cried.
I'm very
It's okay. It's okay if you would have, though. I'm not.
I really, if I was by myself, I would have cried.
I'm not mad at you.
I was just so caught up in being extra cheesy about Jason, so it was like not the same effect.
I know. I'm sad JD Pardo's gone, though.
He can come on our show now.
There was a really good Twitter message that Bailey Burke just sent out, just right after the show ended. I just got it, and it was about, glad he was part of the show, and thanks for being so great. And it was kind of sad. Right. I read it before the show started. We were sitting here looking at it.
Emotional. Well,
but we still have more to talk about.
I know.
We have another plot line.
Now that the Jason chapter is closed forever, we still have something new brewing with Aaron and Priscilla.
Creepy Priscilla.
And this is what we were saying last week or 2 weeks ago, where after the tree thing, that she could be a nanite and she could be some kind of cyborg or some weird technology.
Yeah.
Called it.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for her to be like, and we're pregnant.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I'm waiting
coming.
for some cyborg weird child.
Yeah. And I was wondering the whole time. First, I was like, when is Aaron going to figure it out? And then he was like, I watched you all night. You did not sleep. You did not even blink for the last 45 minutes.
How creepy was it when she was just sleeping like this?
How creepy was it when she burned her hand and he said something smells good?
Right.
That's the same thing. I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, bacon hand. And then he's like, something smells good.
She's like, I think, tea.
I would have been really, really confused if I was Aaron,
smelling meat.
I know I'm drinking this tea, but what smelled so good? Like, what are you cooking? What kind of meat
you
do you
eating
have?
and not sharing with me?
Right.
Why does it smell like meat?
Right.
Bacon. Yeah, no, and then her hand burned and then came back together. And so when that happened, I was like, yes, that confirms for sure she is a nanite. She is taken over.
I thought they cloned her or something. I thought this wasn't her body at all. I think I really felt at this point it was somebody completely different. So when they came and they said that, they had taken her mind. And
the same as they did to him.
Yeah, she was just checked out for real.
Literally.
That was creepy to me.
So one of the things, too, when they talked about who was going to die this week, they showed a bunch of characters. She was one of the characters they showed as a potential death victim. But if you watch her burn her hand and heal herself, what are the potential now that they could kill her if something does go wrong where she becomes this super nanite, if you will? Because how do they stop her now?
That's a good question. That's what I thought, too. And then once I saw her hand healed, I was like, she's not dying. She's not dying this episode.
There's a lot of things that we can't stop. We can't stop the numbers, and we can't stop the nanites.
But
for now.
We've got 4 episodes left in this season, and we got to figure something out.
I know,
real fast.
Yeah, so Aaron finally, like we said, figures it out, calls her out on it. She says, what we discovered, that Priscilla's still there. She's in there, but...
Did you guys think it took Aaron too long to figure it out, or do you think he figured it out?
I think they gave up the information too fast.
Yeah, I mean,
with him, once he started grilling her about it, she's like, "Oh yeah, okay, fine, I'm a nanite, and I'm in the body, and thanks."
I thought she was gonna creepily just be like, "No." Well, when she put on the waterworks at first, when he was like, "You haven't even mentioned your kids," I was like, "This."
And then she cried, and I was like, "Okay, well, never mind. She does miss her kids."
It was still weird to me.
Right, but I think he figured it out pretty quickly. I'll say that.
Yeah, he did.
He did. For him to call it out, he called out the fact that she didn't talk about her family, what else? He said something else about...
Well, that she hadn't slept.
Yeah,
she hadn't blinked. This episode was just creepy to the max. And then she was like, it's one thing to hear about what an apple tastes and then to taste it. And there's one thing to hear you're humans fascinated with sex and to have it. And by the way, you were great. I was just like, oh God, my skin crawled. That was gross.
Aaron had sex with a nanite.
He probably was like, I need a shower right now.
Right, that sounds like a disease. He has a disease now.
I've got the nanites.
I got the nanites.
Man, it itches.
I know, it takes over your brain. That's a serious disease.
Bad STD. You guys, no sex.
With a nanite.
Nanite. Yeah, that was really creepy. And then she says, if you don't want Priscilla to die,
help me.
And let's go and find everybody, and so they
Wasn't it-
randomly meet up
They
with
were,
Rachel.
well, no, they were only 50 miles outside of.
Oh, is that what it's?
Little bit,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
you're right. It did say that.
When she was burning her hand, they said 50 miles
Right.
outside of Willie. So they were close, and they find Rachel.
And you know what I thought was? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was insane. I thought it was funny how she's sewing up. What's his name?
Scanlon.
Scanlon. She's sewing him up, and she's just like, "You're gonna, why are you following Sebastian? Blah blah." But at the same time, it's like you're not fighting per se like how they are, but you're doing the same thing.
But she's not following Monroe willingly. She's following Miles, her boo thing. Her boo thing, yes.
Who left her for a guys' weekend?
Which he did not want to go on.
They took Charlie.
And, yes, and Monroe called
Charlie's
it out.
like a dude. She
Right.
fights like a dude.
Right. Monroe called it out. He said, "Do you guys think that Miles is changing because of Rachel?" As Monroe
a little
says.
bit. I think so.
I think he's just. I'm sure that's a part of it, but he's just realizing everything, and it's just extra because Bass is just so into it because he just wants to take over the Republic, and yeah, I mean, I guess because he's like, I want to.
I think
don't know.
she's changed him. I think he's fighting for a different reason now than he used to fight.
Yeah. What are you fighting for?
What are you fighting
What are
for?
you fighting?
Yeah, they've grown and developed as characters over the last 18 episodes. So they are fighting for new things and different things, and they're looking for a
Fighting
future.
for love.
Yeah. So I mean, that's nothing wrong with that.
Love.
Monroe's
Right.
trying to get his place in history, and Miles wants a relationship.
Right.
So
Why do you think? Here's a question that I can't seem to answer. Why do you think the nanites want to know how to be human?
they're gonna make themselves human.
I
Why?
feel like it's gonna go sci-fi if they keep going down that.
It's
path.
already sci-fi.
I mean, extra.
They've moved away from the sci-fi a little bit.
Yeah, extra sci-fi.
But if they've introduced this technology, it has to go sci-fi.
Right.
Sooner or later, the show's either going to end, and we're going to have questions about the nanite, or it's going to have to go sci-fi to answer those questions.
How'd you guys feel if it went sci-fi?
I mean, I feel like it's been sci-fi from the
Right.
beginning. They've just gotten away
I feel
from
like
it.
it's just I go back and forth with sci-fi things, so I hope it doesn't get too weird because I will just tune out.
But you know what? I think that would be what season 3 would be about. If there is a season 3, it would be the nanites are of course they defeat the Patriots. Patriots are done. But now it's Miles and company fighting against the nanite race of people.
I think you're getting a little too far ahead of yourself here.
I'm just saying, yeah. If there is but I can see where that is going because if you have one human nanite, then of course there's going to be more.
Right.
So if there's a whole army of them, what are they going to do? They can do anything they want.
Right. So yeah, basically we're just waiting for the seed to be planted per se, and Priscilla
Oh, it's
to
already
be
been
like,
planted.
Hey,
But I think
surprise.
right, but we'll see what happens because of course when Rachel sees Aaron and Priscilla, she knows something's up.
You thought so?
She's very keen on stuff. She's very more suspicious than not. And here comes Aaron and Priscilla unscathed in a land full of Patriots, and then you see them not harmed at all. And then of course she's like, "How did you find us?"
Yeah.
Priscilla's good at that.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's what I'm
she
saying.
tracked-
And you see she gives them a look. Rachel gives them a look like, "Okay, hi Priscilla." Like something she knows something's up.
I was
agree.
hoping that when Aaron hugged Rachel, he would have like whispered like,
But
something.
Priscilla can hear that.
No, you're right because she has
that
crazy
superhuman-
bat ears, like whatever.
Right.
Oh my, I didn't think about that, but I thought maybe like a nudge or like,
Like a heads up, crazy people.
No,
Oh, you
I think-
remember Priscilla?
Right? I think that's how he's gonna have to do it. He's gonna give her looks and stuff, and
One of
he
those
kind of did one of those.
Dodgy eye looks.
Right?
looking
She
like
was
her.
something like that.
Do you think the nanites will really give Priscilla back though?
No.
No,
Or maybe once they're born and a baby, they'll leave her body or something?
maybe, but by then she'll probably have to die.
I feel like this could be a really good 3-hour 3D movie.
Well, yeah,
I think so.
definitely.
And I, the more I've been thinking about it as we were sitting here talking, with killing her, the nanites, they can still kill Priscilla, I think, because
Right.
they're killing her brain, which the nanites are inhabiting. But I feel like I don't know. Never mind. I don't know
I
if
feel like
that's-
this is a perfect time for predictions.
I think so.
Don't.
Can we get some AfterBuzz TV predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Every time I hear that, I just feel like we're in October again and it's Halloween.
Like a weird, creepy haunted house.
Right.
Creepy.
Some
this
back
episode.
trailer at the AfterBuzz TV studios. We're
Earthquakes.
trapped.
Right. I think we all should take a character or two and say what we think.
Megan, go.
I want to take Priscilla and Aaron.
Go.
I say that the nanites are going to kill Priscilla eventually, but not before she has her little nanite baby. And this baby is going to be like the savior of some sort.
I didn't even think about anything like that.
The savior of the world?
I don't
'Cause,
know.
like, you know how
It could go
Peter-
either way.
So what's going to happen next week, though, with Charlie? Because we're seeing Neville showing up.
Yes.
So, and he's coming after her, and he wants to know about Jason. And so
Suddenly he cares about Jason.
Suddenly now he cares about
wants to
Jason.
help?
Yeah, he's always cared about Jason.
yeah, but if he
has.
really cared, he would have been there this week to save her.
No, I mean that's father and son stuff.
So-
I think he really has always loved Jason.
Clearly,
That's
you
his
as
thing.
a female know nothing about father and son stuff.
Oh, here you go.
Ugh.
I don't think he's gonna harm. He might hit her, but I think
Smack her around a little bit.
I think he knows the truth, which is his son did need to die.
Do you think they're going to join up then? Do you think
Yes,
Neville's
he has no
gonna,
choice.
Gonna join up?
Who else does he have at this point?
I mean, I feel like that has those forces have been going this whole
Moving towards each
season.
other the whole last
Yeah,
5-6 episodes.
He has to. There's no way he can coexist in the plot line unless either one extreme he like takes over the world or he joins them, and I don't think he's going to take over the world.
Okay.
So he's joining them then.
Right. He
Done.
has
Probably gonna
to.
join
What do you
them.
think?
He has to.
So I just think, yeah, baby, it has to come about. Something like that's going to happen.
What about Miles and Monroe
I don't know. What I didn't really catch the.
and Connor?
I don't know.
gonna
Connor
keep on
probably
keeping
happy
on.
now that
know,
Trying to
Jason's
stop the
gone.
Patriots.
You know what I think? I think there's going to be a big rift between Monroe and Connor on one side, and then Miles and Rachel on the other. Like I
think
see
so,
it
too.
coming. It's
Splitting up.
brewing, and Miles is going to have to pick sides, like for good.
Definitely after those comments Rachel was
Right.
making. Yeah.
Right. And I think he's going to pick Rachel, of course.
Always.
Always pick the ladies.
Rose before.
Well, let us know what you guys think on YouTube and iTunes, and make sure to follow all of us. I am XOXOCESCA, Instagram, Vine, Twitter. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Facebook.
You can
No.
find me at RyanHooks92 on the Facebook, on the Twitter, on the Instagram, and the Yahoo. Don't make faces at me. Also, got a new show coming out this week, Turn, AMC. Check it out. AfterBuzz TV will be
Sounds
here.
cool.
And as always, you can find me, Megan Thomas, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Meg Scoop. Like Scoop ice cream, because ice
Yummy.
cream's yummy.
What?
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.